Let me ask you something uncomfortable. Why do you feel the need to explain yourself? Why do you justify your choices? Why do you defend your silence? Why do you overclarify your decisions? Who are you trying to convince? Because powerful people don't explain, they decide. And the moment you start explaining yourself, you give away leverage. Today, we're going to break down why explaining yourself weakens your presence, how it trains people to question you, and how to stop doing it without becoming arrogant. If you've ever felt drained after conversations, this video is for you. Section 1. Why people over-explain. Explaining yourself isn't confidence, it's anxiety. Most people over-explain for three reasons. They fear being misunderstood. They fear rejection. They fear losing approval. So they add context, then more context, then clarification, then justification. And what happens? The more you explain, the more people sense insecurity. Because explanation signals doubt. When you are certain, you don't elaborate. You state. You move. Think about it. When someone says, "I can't come tonight," and leaves it there, that feels solid. But when someone says, "I can't come tonight because I have this thing and I didn't mean to cancel and I promise next time," that feels uncertain. Power speaks briefly. Insecurity speaks repeatedly. Section 2. The psychology behind it. Here's the psychological truth. When you over-explain, you lower your perceived status. In social dynamics, brevity equals authority. Why? Because people assume if you're explaining a lot, you're seeking approval, and approval-seeking behavior shifts power away from you. Humans subconsciously rank confidence. Short answers signal internal certainty. Long justifications signal internal negotiation. And people trust those who don't negotiate with themselves. When you explain too much, you invite debate, you invite challenge, you invite doubt, and most of the time, no one even asked for that much detail. You volunteered it. Section 3. Silence as leverage. Silence is uncomfortable for insecure people. Why? Because silence forces them to reveal themselves. When you stop explaining, others fill the space. They project, they assume, they talk more, they expose insecurity. But when you explain everything, you remove that space. You protect them from discomfort. You protect them from revealing themselves. And in doing that, you lose the advantage. The quiet person in the room often controls it, not because they're loud, but because they don't need validation. Silence makes people wonder. And what people wonder about, they respect. Section 4. The fear of being misunderstood. But what if they misunderstand me? Let them. Not every misunderstanding needs correction. People who want to understand you will ask. People who don't are looking for weakness. When you constantly clarify yourself, you train people to question your authority. When you remain calm and brief, you train people to respect your decisions. There's a difference between clarity and over-justification. Clarity is intentional. Over-justification is emotional. One builds power. The other leaks it. Section 5. How explaining yourself drains. Have you noticed something? After long explanations, you feel exhausted because you weren't just speaking. You were negotiating your worth. Every time you explain your boundary, your decision, your preference, your silence, you subtly say, "Is this okay?" Power doesn't ask that. Power states. Power pauses. Power moves on. The more energy you spend defending your choices, the less energy you have to build them. And the world respects results, not explanations. Section 6. How to stop explaining yourself. So how do you stop? Not by becoming rude, not by becoming cold, but by becoming concise. Instead of, "I can't because," say, "I won't." Instead of, I didn't mean it like that. Say, that wasn't my intention. Instead of, let me explain. Say, I've made my decision. Pause. Silence after a statement increases its weight. Practice shorter answers. Practice calm tone. Practice holding eye contact. And most importantly, be okay with discomfort. Because the moment you stop explaining yourself, people feel the shift, and some won't like it. That's fine. The ones who respect you will adjust. Closing impact. Here's the truth most people never learn. The need to explain yourself comes from the need to be accepted. But acceptance built on over-explanation is fragile. Respect built on certainty is stable. You don't need to narrate your life. You don't need to justify your silence. You don't need to convince everyone. The less you explain, the more powerful you become. So the next time you feel the urge to over-clarify, pause, say less, and watch how the room changes. If this made you think, subscribe. This channel is for observers, not reactors.